jumble up the order just a little bit. I'm waiting for somebody to arrive, so I think what I'd like to do is let's just get this initial executive session out of the way. It shouldn't take long. So I'd like to have a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing matters that may lead to the appointment of a particular person. Second. Mark? Any discussion? All in favor? Jesus. Dr. Lewis, you go to your office. Yep. Oh. Sorry, it's a little more than that. So call the meeting back to order at 6:37. Excuse me. So next up is the presentation of our ABCD award winners. So what I'm going to have is Jen Spano will read the narrative for each individual, and I'd like you to step forward and receive your commendation, and we'll have a little photo op after. Yes.
Compliment your cheese.
I know it's so.
The ABCD Award was born from the board's sincere desire to acknowledge those employees of the Greater Johnstown School District who are nominated by school community members because they go above and beyond the call of duty to make a difference in the lives of our students and help them succeed. The board and district administration are pleased to recognize 3 outstanding ABCD Award winners. Mrs. Deborah Calorie serves as the first point of contact for anyone coming into the district office. She's always cheerful and pleasant, treating everyone she encounters with the utmost kindness and respect. Deb works as a go-between, wearing many hats and helping in various capacities. She goes out of her way to assist parents, staff members, and returnees with any concerns they may have, doing whatever she can to help. When Deb promises you she'll get back to you with information, you can absolutely rely on her following through. Each and every day, Deb is in a positive mood and a joy to be around, and in all ways possible, she goes above and beyond the call of duty to assist everyone she can in any way they need.
Thanks.
Miss Megan Morial teaches 6th grade ELA at Knox, where she has created a warm and welcoming classroom for her students. She goes out of her way to create lasting relationships with each student she comes in contact with, taking time to listen and provide needed support. Parents appreciate that she keeps them informed as to how their children are progressing with their studies. Students appreciate that Ms. Morial goes the extra mile every day to help them learn new things in ways that are fun and engaging. In addition, she spends her free time as students supporting sporting events, cheering them on from both inside and outside the classroom. With every single thing she does for her students, Megan always goes above and beyond the call of duty. Ms. Amy Solar initially began her career with the Johnstown School District as a teacher aide in the special education department, and has transitioned to a teaching assistant position at Pleasant Ave Elementary School. My parents say she's formed close bonds with her students and makes it a point to continue to check in with those who have moved on to other buildings. They appreciate the kindness and support she provides to their children and know that they can tell she loves what she does, which makes her excel at it. Thank you to Ms. Solar for going above and beyond the call of duty and caring for each and every Johnstown student she engages with.
Photo time.
Want to stand over here against the wall?
Yeah.
Good.
Little kids just. Here?
Good job.
Thank you. agenda is comments from the public on agenda and non-agenda items. The Board of Education welcomes district residents, parents, students, and other people to our meeting. Community involvement at board meetings is encouraged so that we can better understand your views. Please be aware that individual student information or particular personnel issues will not be discussed by this board during public session. When recognized by the board president, please state your name and address. Statements are restricted to a maximum of 3 minutes, and speakers will be notified by the board president when their time has expired. When speaking, the public shall direct their comments to the board and not district staff or other audience members. Speakers shall not expect board members to answer questions for public comment. Questions shall be referred to the superintendent or his or designee for review, study, and response. If appropriate, the board may request the issue of the discussion item at a future Board of Education meeting, the Board of Education committee. Is anybody here wishes to address the board at this time? Oh, it's about to be okay. So next up, we've done the executive session, and we have a term session. Superintendent's report, Dr. Crenshaw.
Sure, I have a brief one, and I'd like to update the board on a few items. First of all, shared decision-making, the ad hoc committee on cell phones. I know you can read this for yourself, but you're like most people, you're very busy, you can't get online necessarily to read this. But let me just summarize for you where we are. But if you do go to the website and you go onto the About Us link, and then you'll see shared decision-making down on the right-hand side. Click on there, and you'll see all the agendas and minutes if that interests you. So then the ad hoc committee worked for the cell phone issue. They've been studying and investigating regional examples, so who's doing what around our area. Responsible bell-to-bell cell phone procedures versus yonder pouches, like which way will we go is kind of where we are right now. Mr. Hale and Mr. Snow are discussing progressive discipline that goes along with these procedures, researching by members for how to educate students on appropriate use, kind of goes hand in hand here. Quick and informative communication once a decision has been made has been promised. So we'll be shooting for January 1st. And also talking about the why. And really the reason we're doing this in the first place is about mental health and improving teaching and learning in the classroom. And November 21st is, I think, the last meeting. Is that all right? Yep. Consensus on recommendations will be given to me, and then I'll start on the white paper and we'll present that to the board. If you have any questions on that particular ad hoc committee. I want to thank you very much. Mr. Snow, you're involved, right? I know Mr. Kramer, Mr. Hale, thank you very much. Now, just a word about budget. The budget development has begun, and pretty soon we'll be in fast and furious mode. So Albany Audit Budget Finance Committee will work with Alicia and me at its meeting on the 11th, and that's coming up pretty quickly. And then the Board of Education, of course, will hear the administrative component of the budget and an overview of the entire budget at the December meeting. And I think that's when we start at 6 o'clock. Now, just a word about the shared decision ad hoc committee's work on the solar project. We had a November 6th meeting that included a tour of the site. Danforth folks were there as guests, as well as cross-country coach Lisa Van Arnhem. They discussed the location of the array, especially the position to residents and cross-country trails. We talked about being mindful of the natural environment, the habitats there, appropriate runoff for water, that sort of thing. Removal and restoration of trees and plantings, replacement planning, including equipment that may be in 40 years different than it is now in terms of technology. Also discuss incentives for solar power, energy, financial benefits to the school and the community as a whole. Danforth actually shared a presentation. If you go into the link of the agenda in the minutes, you can actually see that presentation if you want to do that. The referendum is planned right now for March 2025, the 18th. It's not really required to have a vote, as you may know, but it gives us an additional 10% aid if we get the public to approve this project. Construction looks like starting in the summer, fall of 2025, should be operational by the fall of 2026. That makes sense. Yeah. Everything is contingent upon timing of the study by National Grid. a Caesar study. We're expecting that back in mid-February, so we're kind of behind the 8 ball right now, where that's concerned. There's no indication from the members at this point that we shouldn't move forward. We're getting some good feedback then. There's another meeting in mid-February, and we thank Alicia for facilitating that entire ad hoc committee. And of course, another white paper will be coming. We have a wetland survey being conducted next week, I believe. Not to put you on the spot, Mr. Woods, but I think that's what Ian mentioned today, the wetland study.
Yes.
Did you catch that? And then finally, the medium capital project is really getting in full swing. That's the $15 million project. We have the trailer, you'll see it at Johnson High School, it's on site. We have the head engineer and superintendent of project that'll be there for a while. If you remember, if you're taking notes, this is HVAC, Pleasant Avenue, heating, JHS, larger construction space, JHS theater line, Pleasant Avenue, Warren Street kitchens, Warren Street JHS bus loops, formalizing those, Warren Street windows, all of them here in this building, tennis courts at JHS becoming basketball courts and pickleball courts, and EFIS repair throughout the district. And that's just to summarize what that project is as a reminder. And that's all I had right now.
EFIS is spelled E-I-F.
Did I
It's
spell that correctly?
I-S.
Yeah. I don't know if it's that.
E-I-F-S.
E-I-F-S.
Okay.
I'm right, only you can see that. That's not going to the paper. EFIS, for those of you who don't know, is that sort of stucco-looking stuff that everybody's using now in construction around. It gets black, moldy, and terrible looking. Once in a while, it needs to be replaced and repaired.
Good attempt.
Thank you. Makes sense. Thanks.
Okay. Employee leadership reports. For this evening, we have Nancy Olszewski with the JPA.
So something that people might not know about the union is that like many organizations, we operate under our constitution and we adopt some bylaws. The Johnstown Teachers Association utilizes our constitution as a guidepost for what we want to accomplish as a unit. And like any good constitution, we have objectives that are clearly outlined, kind of a mission statement of sorts. One of the tenets, actually the first tenet of our constitution is, quote, to work for the welfare of school children, the advancement of education, and the improvement of instructional opportunities for all. Probably no surprise that that's our first tenet. But recently, the JTA really reacted upon this first objective when the Representative Council unanimously elected to make a donation to the YMCA to pay for a membership for a Johnstown student for the year. The YMCA sponsorship is just one example of the community outreach that we've been able to accomplish this school year. This October, as we have for many years, longer than I've been here, the Johnstown Teachers, Service Providers, Teaching Assistants, we all donated to the American Cancer Society's Making Strides for Breast Cancer Fund. And then additionally, building on our desire to provide community support, we also donated to the Tessero Cancer Center at St. Mary's Hospital in Amsterdam. So donations so far this year have totaled over $1,300. Pretty proud of that. This generosity speaks not just to the union's ability to organize and motivate our members. Rather, and I think most importantly, it really speaks directly to the character of the people that you have chosen to employ here in this district. So our members, they really value the health and welfare of the children and adults in this community and surrounding communities, and their generosity is a testament to those values. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We do not have a presentation from CSEA this evening. Moving along to board report. I was going to invite either of our attendees to speak in any regard to what you may have learned. Mark, do you have any?
saw a significant decline in referrals because of these restorative circles, when it came to disciplinary issues. That I went to a session about, therapy dogs that got a little contentious, and I don't know why.
The dogs got contentious,
No, there
or
was
the
no dog
section?
in the session, but there was, I think, a person who was a representative of the therapy dog owner or something. There was technicalities to argue about. Things, not what I expected. But yeah, I think there were a lot of sessions in the windows, and I think, after speaking to some other board members, struggling to find which of the sessions they kind of be ranking about it was a struggle. So hopefully we can do that next.
Gotcha. Great. Thank you very much. As a reminder, several of us, myself included, need to finish our mandatory annual trainings. And Brandon has provided the link to take us to that location to do those trainings. If you have, sorry.
If you have do these trainings at your employer and you really need some kind of statement or something,
Okay. Very good. Committee reports, we have none for this month. Correspondence, this was an invitation to an art installation that occurred on November 7th. It's November 14th now, so I'm not sure if anybody caught that. Then let's move on to consent agenda. So, in an effort to expedite the business of the Board of Education, but in no way meant to diminish the importance of each item, consent agenda may be used for the items in this section. Items may be removed from the consent agenda at the request of any one board member. Items not removed will be adopted by general consent without debate. Any removed items may be taken up either immediately after the consent agenda or placed later on the agenda at the discretion of the board. So I am looking for a motion to approve items listed in the sections of this agenda titled consent to action business, consent to action personnel, and consent to action CSE, CPSE, 504 committee minutes. So I need a motion, Leslie. I need a second. March. Any discussion? Yes. And join us, the farm school section, which falls under.
Sorry, it's under 7. It's toward the bottom.
Okay, so if you're looking at your agenda, there is one block that carries the label farm to school activity coordinators. We're going to pull that out from the consent agenda and vote on that separately. So the consent agenda minus that one item, we have the motion, we have a second. Any further questions, comments? Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, unanimous. Okay, so then I look for a motion to accept the recommendation of the superintendent for the farm to school activity coordinators as listed in the agenda under item 7A. Marge, Will, second. Any discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Abstained? 0 abstention. Okay. So that carries us through to number 10, action items business. We have A, B, C. Do we want to collect these into one? What will be comfortable with that? Yeah, collect all of them and into a. I'm sorry, what's the technical term? A block. So I'm looking for a motion to accept item 10, action items business, A, B, C, and D as a block vote. Marge? discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous, thank you. All right, next item is action items personnel. We have, I'm just going to go through these individually, there's a few of them, but action items personnel, term appointment of extracurricular advisors. I'm looking for a motion to accept the recommendation of the superintendent to approve the term appointment of the following extracurricular advisors for the 2024-25 school year. Amy Ferrari, Rebecca Cornell, and Randy Hilly. Well, second. Ken? Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. And the term appointment of extracurricular advisors. I'm looking for a motion to accept the recommendation of the superintendent to amend the resolution adopted on July 2nd, 2024 for the term appointment of the following extracurricular advisors for the 24-25 school year: Caitlin Cross and Elizabeth Flanders. March, second. No. Any discussion? All those in favor? Raise your hand. Thank you. Next, we have the appointment of Samantha Bellinger as school district treasurer. So
She's here.
okay. So we'll skip that one, and we'll go down to the probationary appointment of Teresa Mormont for teacher aide. Looking for a motion to accept the recommendation of the superintendent to approve the probationary appointment of Teresa Mormont as teacher aide, 7.75 hours per day, 10 months per year, effective November 4th, 2024, at $16.20 per hour, pursuant to the Civil Service Employees Association collective bargaining agreement. The fingerprint review has been completed and a receipt of the clearance certificate by the Commissioner of Education is on file. March, second. Leslie? Any discussion? All those in favor? Thank you very much. Okay. Going back one. This is the appointment of Samantha Bellinger as school district treasurer. This is be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education of the Greater Johnstown School District hereby appoints Samantha Bellinger as the district treasurer effective November 4th, 2024, to serve at the pleasure of the board, subject to the terms and conditions set forth in the agreement dated November 14th, 2024, and authorizes the superintendent to sign said agreement. Motion. Well, second. Any discussion?
I would just like to introduce you to Sam. She just drove here to stay Harry, and she's perfect time. So, if that's any indication of what she does, well, right on top of it.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second, any discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Now you go. No, we gotta administer the oath.
We're gonna do this.
Oh, so you're efficient too. Welcome aboard. Okay, next we have the probationary appointment of Stephanie DeMagistris, teacher aide. Looking for a motion to accept the recommendation of the superintendent to approve the probationary appointment of Stephanie DeMagistris as teacher aide, 7.5 hours per day, 10 months per year, effective November 4th, 2024, at $16.20 per hour, pursuant to the Civil Service Employees Association collective bargaining agreement. Fingerprint review has been completed and receipt of the clearance certificate by the Commissioner of Education is on file. Motion. Well, second. March. Any discussion? All those in favor? Next is the probationary appointment of Christina Mickle, teacher aide. I'm looking for a motion to accept the recommendation of the superintendent to approve the probationary appointment of Christina Mickle as teacher aide, 7.5 hours per day, 10 months per year, effective November 20th, 2024, $16.20 per hour, pursuant to the Civil Service Employees Association collective bargaining agreement. Fingerprint review has been completed and received the clearance certificate by the Commissioner of Education is on file. Can I have a motion? Leslie, second. No? Any discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. Next we have Joshua Kemp as probationary appointment. Joshua Kemp for custodial worker. Looking for a motion to accept the recommendation of the superintendent to approve the probationary appointment of Joshua Kemp to custodial worker effective November 1st, 2024, at $18.50 per hour pursuant to the Civil Service Employees Association collective bargaining agreement. The fingerprint review has been completed and received. The clearance certificate by the Commissioner of Education is on file. Motion. Okay, second as well. Any discussion? All those in favor? Yes, thank you. Next, we have the motion to accept the recommendation of, this is for probationary appointment of Megan Bowles, RN. I'm looking for a motion to accept the recommendation of the superintendent to approve the probationary appointment of Megan Bowles as registered nurse, 10 months per year, $35 per hour, effective November 15, 2024, pursuant to the Civil Service Employees Association collective bargaining agreement. Well, second. Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor? Very unanimous. Thank you. Okay, so I'm looking for a probationary appointment for Jennifer Lowell. I really did try. I practiced it. Motion, I'm looking for a motion to accept the recommendation of the superintendent to approve the probationary appointment of Jennifer Griswold as licensed practical nurse, 10 months per year, $24 per hour, effective May 5th, 2025, pursuant to the Civil Service Employees Association collective bargaining agreement. That's it? Second. Well, any discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. Okay, lastly, we have probationary appointment for Lisa Barker, LPN. Looking for a motion to accept the recommendation of the superintendent to approve the probationary appointment of Lisa Barker, licensed practical nurse, 10 months per year, $28 per hour, effective May 5th, 2025, pursuant to the Civil Service Employees Association collective bargaining agreement. Motion? No? Second? Yeah? Any discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. All right, next we have the first reading of revised policy 3421, Title 9, sex discrimination. Second reading of proposal for adoption will appear on 12/19/24 agenda. So we have some information under the executive content of the agenda that will give some background on this. This is related to some changes that were enacted, I believe, by the U.S. Department of Education Amendment to Title IX regulations. And as such, our policy service has made some modifications. Did anybody have any questions about any of these modifications? Okay, hearing none. I'll move on to the next item, which is the review of proposed regulation 3421R and formal complaint form 3421F. So this is revision, again, in response to U.S. Department of Education amended Title IX regs that went into effect on August 1st. And you have some information here to provide some background information. Does anybody have any questions or comments about this revision?
I guess the only thing I would say about this block of ABC is that the policy itself is a lot broader, a lot deeper, and it's, I would say it's a lot more inclusive of almost any kind of complaint that can come our way. B on the agenda really pertains to the regulation or how we implement the policy at our school district. Finally, C is all about the forms. Well, there's a form. I'm kind of out of order here, but it's really complete in that you have the policy, you have the regulation, and then you also have the form we use to take complaints.
So the attachment that has been provided form is a description that we have a form, but I believe it's directing individuals interested in having that form or contacting our assistant superintendent or our Johnstown High School principal. So out of curiosity, how long is that form?
So, not too, the form itself is not too long, it's,
Okay.
I have one page here, but those are two sizes.
Okay, so next up, we have a potential March 2025 special referendum. So there's a calendar of events that has been provided for your review leading up to that referendum. Does anybody have any questions about the need for the referendum and or the calendar of events that have been organized for it? Okay, hearing no questions, we'll move along. We have some upcoming meetings and events. First up is December 2nd, a special meeting at 6:30 p.m. At the district office. December 11th is the Audit, Budget, and Finance Committee at 6:30 p.m. at the district office. Also on December 11th is the JHS Winter Concert at 7 p.m. at the JPAC. On December 17th is the Knox Winter Concert 1 at 7 p.m. at the JPAC. December 18th is the Operations and Planning Committee meeting at 6:30 p.m. at the district office. And on December 19th, business meeting at 6 p.m. at JHS. That will begin our 6 o'clock meetings to review the budget. So next we have oh, sure.
I was wondering if the personnel committee would just think about and consider meeting on December 9th, if that's open for you at all, for personnel committee. Because we just have a few CSEA, JSDA matters to kind of work through, if you will. So I can follow up with you. But if you want to put December 9th in your scratch that calendar, I'll follow up with an email and see if it's possible. Yeah, December 9th. It's just a date I chose. There's a better date this time. So that's a Monday. Thanks for considering that. Otherwise, we don't need until February, I think, and that would be a long time. I don't know. It's really open. I'm available anytime. I'm going to throw 6 o'clock out there. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, so next up we have a possible executive session. I'm looking for a motion to enter into executive session at 7:10 p.m. to discuss the employment history of a particular person, discuss collective negotiations pertaining to the JTA and Tri-County substitutes unions pursuant to Article 14 of the Civil Service Law, to discuss current litigation. Jen, second, vote. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right, we are approved to go into executive session.